Welcome! We're excited to have you employed with Shoreview Parks and Recreation for the summer. Today we're going to go through some important information for all the Summer Discovery and Adventure Quest staff to know. Key values. Job safety is our #1 key value. This is extremely important for both the participants of our programs as well as for our staff. Make sure that each day you evaluate the space that your program is in and the area to ensure that there aren't any safety hazards. If you see anything that's questionable, please make sure to report that to your supervisor so that it can be taken care of immediately. When working with kids, it's important to make sure that all of the actions that the kids are making on a daily basis are safe, if there aren't any roughhousing going on or anything that could cause an injury or harm to one of the participants. If you see anything like that, please make sure to step in right away and redirect those kids in whatever they're doing. Safety is our #1 goal, and you'll hear that over and over throughout our training. We can't have fun unless everyone is safe, and we want to have fun, so keep everyone safe. Customer service. This is extremely important as well. Our customers are both our parents and our kids in our programs. Throughout the day, each day, please make sure that you are greeting people, making them feel welcome in our facilities and in our parks, that you are helping answer any questions that anyone may have, and if you don't know the answer to something, that you make sure to follow up and find out the answer and so that someone gets back to that person. We will touch more on customer service in another training. Facility and park cleanliness. Our Parks and Recreation staff take great pride in the facility and the parks that are in the city. So it is part of your job to help ensure that that continues on a daily basis. We use a lot of space in the community center here as well as out at the parks. Anytime you're doing any type of project or activity that potentially has garbage or is messy, make sure that you clean up everything and that it looks better than when you came. Having a spot for trash is extremely important, making sure the kids participate in that. Along with this, make sure that if you're walking into the building perhaps, or you're walking through the parking lot at one of the parks and you see trash or you see broken glass, something like that, that if it's an easy fix, that you go ahead and you take care of that and pick that up and throw it away, or if it's something that is beyond your control, that you ask someone else to help with that and that you report it so that either a maintenance worker can come out and help with that, or a manager on duty could find someone so that we can get things taken care of, again, so that it's safe. And teamwork is our final key value. You will get to know your coworkers very well and you'll be working very closely with them. Make sure that you communicate with each other and that you have a great time as well. Program goals. We have a couple of goals that are really important. Again, that safety word, provide a safe atmosphere for participants. That is so important each and every day. Support and help the children develop intellectually, socially, emotionally, and physically. We play a really important role in the kids' lives during the summer. Especially with Summer Discovery, some of these kids are with us for 8 to 10 hours a day, and we have a major impact on them and are spending more time with them than many of their parents are on a daily basis. So it's important that we are being positive role models and setting a great example and helping these kids learn new life skills and how to manage day-to-day activities. Have fun. The kids that are participating in our summer programs want to walk away with great memories and having had a fantastic summer. We want to make sure that we have a setting that they will remember and that they will tell others about, and that everyone enjoys each and every day. Your work schedule. A couple of things that are important here to highlight. Arrive on time. What does that look like? To me, arrive on time means whatever time your shift begins, you are ready to go. So it doesn't mean you're walking in the door at 8 o'clock if your shift begins at 8 o'clock. It means you are in the room or you are at the park building at the location where you are scheduled to work for that day at whatever time your shift starts. So make sure that you plan accordingly so that if you need to clock in, and we'll cover that in a moment, that you allow enough time to be able to get to the break room and then to whatever space you need to check in at. Be flexible. As much as we plan and hope that each day goes a specific way, we know that that is not always the case. And so it's extremely important when you're working with children to be flexible. Sometimes buses are late, sometimes the rain affects what our schedule might have been for that day. We just never know what's going to happen. So be flexible, and along with that, make sure you always have a backup plan. So those ideas in your back pocket, whether it's a game or some other activity for the kids to be able to do and spur the moment, it's important to have those ideas ready. Daily schedules and overtime. Each employee has been allotted a specific schedule for the day, and if you are unaware of what your schedule is, please make sure to follow up with Becky to get that information. But it's important to ensure that you adhere to your daily schedule. You are allotted a certain number of hours per week, and if for some reason you are finding yourself going over that time, you must get it pre-approved, especially if you are going over 40 hours. We do not allow overtime. It is only in special circumstances that it has been pre-approved by Becky. Subs. We do have some subs for both programs, and staff are allotted up to 5 days off during the summer. We will have the coordinators work with you to try to help get some of those shifts covered before summer begins, the days that you've pre-requested. But once summer begins, it's your responsibility to find a sub if you are ill or have an emergency or something that comes up and you're unable to work. Again, it's really important that you limit the number of vacation days that you have, because it does affect the kids in the program and the consistency that's happening when we have substitutes coming in and out of the program. Emergencies. These things happen. Sometimes your car doesn't start. Sometimes you are throwing up in the middle of the night and you're not going to be able to come to work. We understand that that happens. Please don't just leave a message on the cell phone for the coordinators. It is extremely important that you reach a live person and that you speak with them. It's your responsibility to find a sub, even if you're sick or if you have an emergency. But you also need to make sure that you report that to a coordinator and that you call them and that you let them know and speak to them directly. Payroll. I think everybody here is probably working to get paid, as that's an important part of the job, and we want to make sure that that happens. So if you're a Summer Discovery employee, during training we will go through how you'll clock in and out each day and have an automatic timesheet that's created. If you're Adventure Quest in your training, we will go through how to complete a timesheet so that you can get paid as well. You get paid every other week on Friday, and your paychecks, if you have signed up for direct deposit, will automatically be deposited into your bank account. If you have a paper check, those will be available at noon on payday, and then anything that's not picked up will be sent out in the afternoon mail that day. Again, as I mentioned before, any overtime must be pre-approved by Becky. Workers' compensation. Sometimes things happen and you do get injured on the job. It's important to report every injury, and that has to be reported within 24 hours to your supervisor, who needs to report it to Becky within 24 hours. There is additional paperwork that needs to be completed. If you need medical care, there are specific places that the city will direct you to go in the event that you need to have follow-up attention. If it is an emergency and you need to go by ambulance, we will take care of that. But if it's something that you just need a follow-up appointment for, please make sure that you check with Becky before you do that. Safety procedures. We have these in place to ensure that employees are not getting injured. And in the event that someone does get injured, we will look into the option of creating some additional safety procedures to ensure that there aren't any additional injuries. Technology. Cell phones. We all have them, and it is very tempting to be using them throughout the day. There's no reason to have them while you're working with kids. They're a distraction, and you need to be able to focus your attention on the participants in our programs. The only exception to this would be out at the parks. The lead staff will need to have a cell phone available so that the coordinator is able to reach them. Otherwise, we should not see cell phones visible while you are working in program time. And if we do, that is something that the coordinators will address, and if necessary, we will implement a plan to ensure that people are not distracted by their cell phones. So, a lot of people use their cell phone for keeping time. Get a watch. If you don't have a watch and financially you're not able to purchase one, please come and speak with Becky or one of the coordinators, and we will make sure that you're able to get a watch for the summer. Social media. You more than likely have multiple social media accounts. Please note that oftentimes participants and parents will look you up on social media, so please make sure that those pages are set to a private setting so that they're not open to the public for everyone to view, or if they are open, that everything that you have on them is acceptable and appropriate for anyone to look at. Along with that, photos. Unless the photos are being taken of participants for program use, you are not allowed to take photos of participants for personal use, and especially cannot post those on social media. You do not have permission from parents or for access to those photos, so please make sure that you're being respectful. Finally, employee discipline. There are going to be times and occasions where an employee needs to have some coaching. In the event that that happens, one of the coordinators will meet with you and go over the expectations and the areas for improvement. If it is something that's more severe, there may be a verbal or written warning involved prior to termination. In the event of termination, normally a coordinator or Becky would sit down with you beforehand to go through the expectations that would lead to termination. However, there are a few exceptions to that and reasons for immediate termination. Those include the use of alcohol or drugs while you are working, endangering the well-being of a child, destroying or stealing property, profanity or inappropriate language while working, any discriminatory, offensive, or degrading remarks or conduct, and child abuse or neglect. As you can see, most of these are pretty self-explanatory and understandable why they would lead to immediate termination. Congratulations! You've completed this training session. Now you will also need to complete the quiz found in the comment section below. Thank you!